Dearly beloved child, a significant moment is currently unfolding in your surroundings. It is silent and invisible, yet it possesses the strength to alter the course of your entire life. Someone exceptionally significant to you has already perceived changes that you believed would go unnoticed. The very instant they comprehended that you are no longer the same individual, everything about them shifted: the rhythm of their heartbeat, the focus of their eyes, the pace of their breath. They are acutely aware of this transformation. They sense it on a profound level, leaving them confused, shaken, and somewhat apprehensive, as the person standing before them today does not align with their past understanding of you. Please, remain attentive. Do not dismiss this message, for what they have discerned resonates deeper than you might assume. A new energy is emanating from you, an energy that was absent just weeks ago. It resembles a quiet fire, serene on the outside, yet relentless on the inside. This individual cannot articulate it, yet they are certain that you have undergone a change that defies explanation. Your silence now conveys more than words. Your presence feels weightier, your aura shines brighter, and your absence is felt more profoundly. They have been observing from the periphery of their existence, feigning ignorance of your transformation, but their thoughts incessantly return to one undeniable truth: you have embraced a power they never envisioned you would attain. Something within you is awakening, rising, and preparing, and they know it is only a matter of time before the world recognizes this change as well. This realization is the source of their restlessness. Their thoughts spiral into uncertainty as they sense something monumental is approaching in your life. However, the most startling revelation for them is not merely your transformation, but rather the threat it poses, as your newfound strength exposes their vulnerabilities. Your brilliance casts light on their darkest corners, and your progress disrupts the foundations of every fallacy they once held about you. Deep within, they fear losing their place in your life, worried that the new version of you will not require them as the former you did. They are anxious that fate may soon rewrite your narrative without their consent, and they feel powerless to hinder this shift. They are at a loss for how to articulate their feelings and confront the truth that simmers within them. But what they have observed is merely the beginning of what lies ahead. Beloved child, pay close attention, for the moment this message resonates, the atmosphere around you shifts once more. The same unique individual who has been silently admiring your radiance now finds themselves engulfed in a much more intense sensation. Their curiosity has transformed into an obsession, their confusion into urgency, and their fear into a mute prayer that you do not slip away from them before they can fully comprehend what is transpiring. Remain with me until the conclusion of this message, for each passing moment holds a truth they never anticipated facing. A powerful epiphany strikes them relentlessly each day: you are ascending more rapidly than they ever imagined. They are baffled by how you have suddenly become so magnetic, so wise, and so untouchable. They struggle to understand how you have ceased to pursue validation, how you have stopped reacting to negativity, and how you no longer diminish yourself for others' comfort. What terrifies them most is your newfound ability to walk away from anything that disturbs your peace. You have become more resistant to manipulation, increasingly challenging to interpret, and more difficult to control. This transformation is unsettling their entire world. They replay your actions in their minds tirelessly, analyzing your silence, decoding your energy, attempting to discern the catalyst for your metamorphosis, yet they remain unsuccessful. This failure drives them to the brink of madness. More than anything else, dear child, what most profoundly affects them is your capacity to remain grounded even amid chaos. They have realized you are no longer the fragile being they once thought they could easily predict. You have cultivated a sense of calm that frightens them, a confidence that astonishes them, and a destiny that is propelling you forward at a pace they cannot fathom. They are consumed by the fear of losing you, of being left behind, and of missing the chance to express their feelings before someone else recognizes your worth first. Regardless of whether they vocalize their concerns, they have already committed to observing you with greater intensity than ever before, for something within you is awakening in a manner that captivates even them. Beloved child, as this moment progresses, the individual observing your ascendance is no longer merely recognizing your transformation, they are experiencing it viscerally. Your presence now draws their attention irresistibly, and even when they attempt to concentrate on their daily lives, their thoughts return to you time and again. Your silence resonates louder than any language. Your energy reaches them, even from afar, compelling them to confront emotions they once sought to bury deep within. Please remain attentive. Do not avert your gaze, for what they currently feel is far grander than they are prepared to acknowledge. A concealed truth is shaking them internally. They have underestimated your strength, mistakenly believing you were predictable, easily interpreted, and vulnerable enough to bend. Yet the person you have become, this powerful, serene, self-assured version of yourself, leaves them utterly speechless. They never anticipated your radiance to ascend so quickly. They did not foresee your spirit becoming this resilient. Nor did they expect the ache of your absence to be this profound. As you withdraw, they find themselves increasingly pursuing you in thoughts. As you concentrate on yourself, their dread of losing access to your world heightens. They have begun to notice every minute detail, your tone, your silence, your distance, and your confidence. Each observation delves them deeper into realization. Above all, my beloved child, the most tumultuous storm within them arises from this understanding. They now clearly perceive your value, not the worth you once tried to convey, but the innate value that life itself has imprinted upon your soul. They can sense your destiny extending before you, vaster, brighter, and loftier than anything they previously conceived. Deep down, they are frightened that someone else may fully recognize your worth before they summon the courage to approach you. This trepidation disrupts their rest, as they replay memories, reconsider choices, and interrogate themselves as they never have before. For now, they comprehend that losing you would not merely be painful, it would unravel a part of them they never realized existed. My beloved child, the energy surrounding this moment intensifies like a magnetic force as the individual observing you reaches a threshold that cannot be reversed. They are no longer just witnessing your transformation, they are haunted by it. Each hour, every pause, and even the slightest shift in your demeanor resonates within them like a subtle shock. They had never imagined that your progression would unveil the truths they have long evaded. You have never been ordinary. You have never been replaceable. You have never been someone they could easily overlook. And now, as your brilliance ascends to new heights, they confront feelings that cannot be dismissed any longer, a profound realization that you are becoming someone they cannot exist without. Remain with this message until its conclusion, for it contains the truth they fear the most. Their heart has begun to beat within unfamiliar rhythms, they find themselves lingering on your name, dissecting your silence, and replaying your last conversation as if it were a secret they cannot relinquish. Your energy influences them in ways they have heretofore resisted. You invade their thoughts, even during attempts at distraction. You appear in their dreams when they least wish to confront emotions. You infiltrate the recesses of their mind that they have kept locked for years. The more they attempt to suppress these feelings, the more they return with ferocity. Your growth serves as a reminder of what they have endeavored to bury. You were always destined to ascend before they were prepared, and that reality frightens them more than they will ever confess. But the deepest layer of this, my beloved child, is what they strive hardest to conceal. They know that if they do not act soon, they will lose you to your destiny. They sense the universe guiding you to a higher chapter, and they are apprehensive that this next chapter may not include them. They recognize the shift in your aura, the tranquility in your silence, and the conviction in your decisions. They observe how you are no longer rattled, no longer controlled, and no longer waiting for anyone to validate your worth. This realization compels them to question everything: why they hesitated, why they kept their distance, and why they failed to recognize your value sooner. Their chests constrict at the thought of someone else acknowledging the brilliance burgeoning within you. The idea of another stepping into your life and occupying the place they secretly desired fills them with dread. For now, they understand the burning truth within: you are the turning point in their life, and losing you would inflict a wound from which they may never recover. My beloved child, as this message unfolds, something within that special person trembles once more, for they can sense you slipping further out of their former reality. They never anticipated that your transformation would affect them so profoundly. They never envisioned that witnessing your rise would feel akin to observing a door slowly close while they remain frozen on the other side. Each time you opt for silence, each time you choose peace, and each time you prioritize yourself, it unearths emotions within them that are difficult to articulate. You have become the one presence they cannot predict, the one energy they cannot replicate, and the one truth they cannot escape. Please remain with me, for the next moments will unveil what they have been striving to conceal even from themselves. Their heart carries a burden that intensifies with each day. They are recognizing that your strength has not only transformed you, it has also illuminated everything they failed to confront. While you healed, they hesitated; while you flourished, they doubted; while you moved forward, they remained stagnant. Now, the distance between who you were and who you are becoming terrifies them. They struggle to recognize this confident, serene, and unstoppable version of you, even as they find it impossible to look away. They find themselves entranced by your brilliance, unsettled by your newfound silence, and humbled by the strength you've embraced. Continuously, they wonder if you still harbor thoughts of them, if you still hold affection, if there remains a place in your heart for them. Yet, the transformed version of you has become unpredictable. This unpredictability is propelling them into an emotional tempest for which they were unprepared. The stark reality, dear one, is the very truth that terrifies them most. They understand that fate is propelling you forward, with or without their involvement. They perceive life reconfiguring itself around you, unveiling new pathways, inviting fresh opportunities, and channeling new energies in your direction. They sense your ascendance into a chapter that is grander, brighter, and more divine than they ever imagined, and they fear they will be unable to keep pace. Their trepidation arises from the notion that someone bolder, wiser, and more in tune with your evolving energy might soon arrive and claim the space they were too afraid to safeguard. They dread that the version of you currently emerging will surpass the comfort zone that they continue to inhabit. As this fear intensifies, a singular truth resonates within them like a profound echo: if they lose you now, they may never encounter another soul like yours again. As this moment transpires, the individual observing you feels an overwhelming tension that can no longer be concealed. Your transformation has reached a point of undeniable visibility. They perceive it the instant they awaken, when they scroll through their phone, or when your name crosses their thoughts, a thought that has become far too frequent for them to acknowledge. You have morphed into a silent yet impactful force in their life, a quiet storm that unsettles them without uttering a sound. With your rise, they are confronted with truths they have long avoided. Stay with this message to its conclusion because their current realizations are surprisingly profound. Even to them, their emotions are tangled in an inexplicable web. They are perplexed by the strong magnetic pull they feel toward you, by the significant impact your absence has on their choices, and by the deafening silence of your lack of attention in their life. They had presumed that physical distance would lead to forgetfulness, yet it has instead illuminated their clarity. They believed that remaining mute would safeguard their ego, yet it has elicited their fear of losing you. Every minute action you take resonates with them in ways they find uncontrollable. Your assurance intimidates them, your tranquility humbles them, your radiance draws them in. The version of you that stands presently compels them to confront a truth they can no longer deny: you are irreplaceable and unforgettable. Not now. Not any longer. However, the most profound tumult brewing within them is one they have fervently attempted to mask. They sense destiny shifting around you, and they feel the universe reconfiguring to usher you into a new chapter, one that may elevate you beyond their reach. This realization fills them with dread. They fear someone new may swiftly appreciate your value, someone more aligned with you may step forth into your brilliance. They are anxious that by the time they muster the courage to act, you will already stand beside someone who recognizes your power instantly. Their heart races at this thought, their mind spirals into chaos, and their emotions fracture. For the first time, they comprehend the whisper of destiny. Unless they act promptly, they risk not merely losing you, but also the chance to engage in the life you are set to embrace. As this moment unfolds, the special individual observing you arrives at a breaking point in their silence. Your ascension has reawakened emotions they can no longer stifle, creating an increasing pull towards you each passing day, more potent than their fears, stronger than their uncertainties, and more forceful than the emotional walls they have constructed. With each choice you make for peace, their heart stirs. With every stride you take towards growth, their spirit constricts, and with every assertion of your strength, a nameless dread envelopes them. Stay with this message until the very end, for what they are discovering now represents the most ardent truth of all. Their mind has slipped beyond their control. Thoughts of you arrive unbidden, during work, in moments of rest, and even while they feign moving on, your name resonates in the backdrop of their life like a soft, persistent heartbeat. The manner in which you now present yourself, opting for silence over drama, ascending quietly, compels them to view you in an entirely new light. You have transformed into someone they never thought possible, dynamic, composed, radiant with purpose. This change is compelling them to confront the truths they have long denied. You are no longer the person they once abandoned. You represent the individual their soul has been searching for all along. Yet, the most intense part of this realization is dawning upon them. They fear they have lingered too long. They perceive destiny guiding you toward a future brimming with new faces, fresh opportunities, and transformative connections. They sense that your energy is magnetizing individuals who resonate with your strength, mindset, and spiritual advancement, and it terrifies them. The thought that another could understand you more profoundly than they did, support your evolution, or stand beside you during those moments they neglected sends shivers through them. This realization hits them with the force of a silent earthquake. For the first time, they grasp that this is not merely about losing you. It is about relinquishing the soul who could have instigated profound changes in their life. As this moment commences, the individual observing you feels a rush of feelings that they cannot manage, for your transformation has reached an unimaginable height. You have embodied a version of self that possesses a unique power, calm confidence, unwavering self-worth, and serene elevation. This shift is not merely observable, it is impossible to deny. They feel its impact in your speech, your movements, and your refusal to react to issues that once provoked you. You have become someone who strides with purpose, who no longer chases, and who has seemingly fortified yourself against past vulnerabilities. Stay with this message until the very last moment because every second reveals the truths they endeavor to conceal. Their emotions spiral into an unexpected storm. They never anticipated the strength encapsulated within your silence nor that your distance would reverberate louder than any words. They certainly did not foresee the intensity of your radiance affecting them as profoundly as it has. Each time you withdraw, an internal force compels them to move closer. Each time you ascend, something within them fractures. They replay bygone conversations, past mistakes, and choices, questioning when they lost the version of you they believed they could control. What they fail to recognize is that your ascent has taken nothing from them, it has simply revealed everything they were unprepared to relinquish. The most profound truth resonating within them strikes with full force. You were never destined to remain at their level, instead, you were meant to surpass it. They witness fate unlocking doors for you once unimaginable, experiencing the universe aligning new opportunities to guide you toward a chapter where your true essence will be recognized. This realization terrifies them in a manner they cannot articulate, for they now understand that someone else, wiser, braver, and more attuned to your energy, might soon enter your life and assume the place they were too fearful to claim. The thought of this trembles them, not due to the loss of a person, but because it signifies losing a soul who could have redefined the essence of their existence. As this moment unfolds, the individual who has been observing you from a distance is overwhelmed by an internal pressure that is impossible to ignore. Your growth has evolved to a level that no longer just inspires them, it unmasks their insecurities, hesitations, and the unexpressed emotions they have concealed. You have become a mirror, reflecting all that they refuse to confront. Now, whenever they contemplate you, a heaviness swells within them, for they finally acknowledge that your evolution is not fleeting, it is a permanent transformation. Stay with this message until the end, as their heart now whispers the most tender truth they have faced. Their emotions are plummeting uncontrollably. They cannot evade the considerable effect of your presence, even from afar. Your silence appears as a message, your confidence feels like a warning, and your elevation serves as a countdown that is rapidly encroaching upon them. They witness you aligning with your purpose, your power, and your destiny, evoking fears greater than any heartbreak they have experienced. They can discern the shift in your energy, the resilience of your boundaries, and the clarity of your decisions. You are no longer the individual they assumed they could easily access, you are no longer awaiting them, yearning for them, or holding space for them in the same manner. They sense this shift, and it strikes them like a tidal wave they were ill-prepared to face. The deepest truth impacting them now is one that has the potential to shake them to their core. They can discern a new presence approaching your life. Someone whose energy resonates with your growth, who will not hesitate as they did, and who will understand your value immediately. The gravity of this realization fractures them from within. Now, they comprehend that losing you extends beyond personal loss. It signifies the forfeiture of a chapter in life that could have reshaped everything for them. They believed time was on their side. They thought you would remain. They believed your heart would continue to wait. Yet they are now awakening to the understanding that destiny does not wait for those who are unprepared, and neither do you, dear one. As these moments unfold, the individual who once believed they could decipher your path now finds themselves caught in an emotional tempest from which they cannot escape. Your rise has become a palpable force residing within their chest, a truth they can no longer elude, and a transformation they cannot deny. Everything about you, your calmness, your silence, your brilliance, your choices, has shifted into a higher frequency. They are now realizing the most painful revelation of all: you are no longer accessible to them as you once were. Remain present with this message until the very end, for they are slowly grasping the profound truth that destiny has been whispering to them from the beginning. Their heart carries a burgeoning fear with each passing day. They fear that the version of you emerging today possesses a power too formidable for the version of them that remains stagnant. They fear that your heart is healing in ways that exclude them. They fear that the universe is fashioning you for a future where they may no longer belong. They can feel the emotional divide between you expanding. They sense the spiritual chasm widening. They acknowledge that your soul is advancing more swiftly than they ever anticipated. Each step you take leaves them grappling with the sense that they are losing a part of themselves they never found the courage to reclaim. Yet the truth that resonates the loudest, dear one, is one they have endeavored to repress. You were the miracle they failed to recognize. Your presence was their source of tranquility, your energy served as their anchor, and your heart represented the blessing they were not ready to accept. Now that destiny is elevating you, they are acutely aware of what they are forfeiting. They can feel someone new, a harmonious presence, one destined to share in your future, drawing closer, someone who will appreciate your worth, someone who will not waver. This realization is dismantling them from the inside out. They recognize now that losing you is not merely about the absence of a person, it signifies the loss of an extraordinary chapter in life that could have transformed everything for them.